Imagine a woman named Sarah, always with a smile plastered on her face, even when her heart aches. She bends over backwards for everyone, especially her partner Mark. Mark, used to Sarah's compliance, takes her for granted. He makes plans without consulting her, knowing she'll rearrange her schedule to fit his. Sarah, terrified of displeasing him, agrees with a forced smile. Inside, her stomach churns with unspoken resentment. This, my friends, is a classic case of a people-pleaser trapped in a cage of their own making. Sarah's story is not unique. It plays out in countless relationships where one person constantly seeks validation through pleasing, while the other becomes accustomed to this dynamic. This unhealthy pattern can persist for years, leaving the pleaser feeling drained, unappreciated, and invisible. It's a vicious cycle that thrives on insecurity and fear of rejection. But there's hope. Just like Sarah can choose to break free from this toxic dance, so can anyone caught in the people-pleasing trap. It starts with understanding the root of this behavior and taking concrete steps towards self-love and healthy boundaries. Remember, you deserve to be loved and appreciated for who you truly are, not for the mask you wear to please others. It's time to reclaim your voice, set yourself free, and embrace the joy of authentic living. Your journey to self-discovery and healthy relationships starts now. People-pleasers are often described as nice and helpful. They go above and beyond to make others happy, often at the expense of their own well-being. They are the friends who always say yes, the partners who avoid conflict like the plague, the colleagues who take on extra work without complaint. On the surface, they may seem confident and well-adjusted, but beneath the facade lies a deep-seated need for approval. This need to please often stems from childhood experiences. Perhaps they grew up in a household where love was conditional, earned through good behavior and achievements. Or maybe they were criticized or neglected, learning to silence their own needs to maintain a sense of peace. Whatever the reason, people-pleasing becomes a learned behavior, a coping mechanism to navigate relationships and avoid potential rejection or conflict. The irony is that while people-pleasers strive for connection and love, their actions often push them further away from these desires. By constantly putting others' needs before their own, they become invisible, their true selves masked by a desire to be liked. This can lead to resentment, frustration, and a deep sense of unfulfillment in relationships. Recognizing these patterns is the first step towards breaking free. It's about understanding that true connection comes from authenticity, not from contorting yourself to fit someone else's mold. It's about learning to value your own needs and feelings as much as those of others. Emotional dependency is a major pitfall for people-pleasers. They rely heavily on external validation to feel good about themselves. Their self-worth becomes intertwined with the opinions and approval of others, creating a fragile sense of self that's easily shattered by criticism or disapproval. Imagine their emotional well-being as a house of cards. Each compliment, each nod of agreement adds another card, seemingly strengthening the structure. But the foundation remains shaky, dependent on external factors beyond their control. One gust of disapproval, one disagreement, and the whole edifice comes crashing down. This dependence on external validation can manifest in various ways. They might constantly seek reassurance from their partner, needing constant affirmation of their love and appreciation. They might avoid expressing their true opinions or desires for fear of judgment or rejection. They might even stay in unhealthy relationships, clinging to crumbs of approval because they doubt their own worthiness of love and respect. Breaking free from this dependency requires a shift in perspective. It's about recognizing that true self-worth comes from within, not from external sources. It's about acknowledging your own strengths and accomplishments, independent of others' opinions. It's about understanding that you are worthy of love and respect, simply for being you. The constant need for validation becomes a barometer for people-pleasers, measuring their self-worth based on how others perceive them. Every compliment is a boost to their fragile ego, every criticism a blow that sends them spiraling into self-doubt. This creates a vicious cycle where they become trapped in a performance, constantly seeking approval to validate their existence. Imagine living life as an actor on a stage, constantly aware of the audience's gaze, modifying your every word and action to elicit applause. There's no room for spontaneity, no space for authenticity. The fear of disapproval becomes a suffocating presence, dictating their choices and stifling their true self-expression. This constant pressure to please can lead to a range of negative consequences. It can manifest as anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and a lack of direction in life. They might struggle to identify their own needs and desires, constantly prioritizing the needs of others above their own. This can lead to feelings of resentment, frustration, and a deep sense of unfulfillment. Breaking free from this cycle requires a fundamental shift in focus. It's about shifting the spotlight from external validation to internal self-acceptance. It's about recognizing that your worth is inherent, not contingent on the opinions of others. It's about silencing the inner critic and embracing your authentic self, flaws and all. I hope this video gives you some clarity. Please subscribe to get more content like this.